What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm very excited. I am going to be going through and picking out some new makeup that I wanted to throw on my face. Of course, I did create this look with all of the new makeup, and everything will be down below in the event that you're interested. That said, I really had a lot of fun. I did. I think that this look came out really nice. Are there things that I would change in certain products? Yes, but I've only tried them once, so I don't want to kind of give too far on those thoughts and say, yeah, they're terrible, because they're not. Maybe it was just how I applied them today. Maybe it was just the day. Okay, I just had a full day of work, got home, took a little break, and then I'm here. So maybe I need to do it on a day where I didn't just work 8 hours before, if you feel me. But that said, I will stop rambling and we will just get into the makeup. Hey guys, so I just want to start off really quickly right now and just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all of the comments, all of the watching of my video on Saturday, and just the thumbs up. Like, it all really helped. I know that wasn't like super open and I wasn't crying and emotional as like a lot of people would, but that was very emotional for me just to film that video. I'd literally been avoiding filming that video for months, and I just had to get it out. I had to put it on the platform so you guys understand, like I said, my shaky upload. So I truly appreciate it. I don't think I will ever be able to show how much it was appreciated from me. So today I want to go ahead and play with some new makeup. I did just go through my new makeup drawer that's on top of my makeup storage, and I picked up quite a bit of things. It's all a variety of random things, if we're being honest, and I don't necessarily have a full face, but I still wanted to show you guys what I had, and I will just fill in the blanks probably with Project Pan or just products that I'm really enjoying right now, and I'll speed through those parts so it's just not unnecessary. But as you guys know, I love my foil samples. So today I have a Yummy Skin Glow Serum sample, and I have both of the shades. I'm gonna go with the darkest because typically that's the best. Granted though, now that I've tried Myricks' foundation goes with this, I can tell that I kind of overestimate how dark I am in comparison to her shade range. So this is in the shade Juice Boost, and yeah, it's dark, but this is a serum, so I'm assuming it's not gonna be like super pigmented. I remember hearing people actually enjoying this product, and so I'm just gonna try and do a thin layer all throughout my face. And yes, I did clean my hands. I always sanitize my hands before doing makeup. Okay, so I think I put way too much on, but it feels nice and moisturizing, and it doesn't give off all that much color. So even if you do choose to pick the lighter of the two, I don't think you're gonna get much color. It's just gonna be like a light bronze tint, if you get what I'm saying. But for today's foundation, I want to try and knock out my Project Pam foundation. I haven't been able to use it in a couple of weeks, a week or so, because of everything that's been going on, and I don't have much product left. So I'm just going to use my nasty brush, and I'm going to try and get this applied. Okay, I just decided to go ahead and do quite a bit off camera because I didn't have any of the products that were new for the categories. So I do want to go ahead and do my lip product really quickly. It's one from GXVE, and this is in their matte lipstick formulation, and it is called Love Me. So I picked this up a while ago, as with a lot of this stuff, and it's really pretty packaging. I think I picked it up literally on its launch, but I've just been busy, and so it looks like a brown. I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch it for you guys. It is a brown, but it definitely has like a rosy undertone compared to my skin tone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my NYX lip liner that is a brown. I'm gonna line my lips, and then we're gonna throw that on. I quickly lined my lips, and once again, this is in the shade Mason. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take the lipstick from GXVE, and I'm gonna apply it on top. So I picked this up because Angelica Nyquist was raving about this formula, and I think that this is very comparable to the MAC powder kiss powder. What is the name of that formula? So this is very familiar to me to the MAC powder kiss formula. They feel very similar. It's not a very thick, heavy formula. It also isn't super dry, which is nice, but it's not super malleable either. It definitely feels like powder on the lips, and it feels like I pretty much have nothing on my lips. That said, I will say in the camera, at least in my little viewfinder, it does not look like it's giving off as rosy of an undertone as it really does have in person. So do keep that in mind. It is slightly more rosy. I think it's showing up on camera, but I'll see that in the footage at the end, and I'll really be able to tell you guys on screen in editing. So while we're still here, but not too close, because I haven't actually physically scooted in, I do have a couple other cheek products that I want to highlight. So I picked up a couple of things from R.E.M Beauty. I had this glorious idea that I was going to do a video where I did a full face of YouTubers' favorites from the middle of the year, and I truly was going to do it, but July was a very rough month for me, and so I just didn't get around to doing it. I picked up a couple products, and then it just kind of fell by the wayside. But one of the products that I did pick up before that happened was from R.E.M Beauty, and this is their cheek and lip stain in Eclipse. I bought this because I wanted it as a cheek stain. I did not want it as a lip stain or a lip product, and it is the like orangey shade. So I think from the way that this feels, I'm trying to see what the best application method is. I think it's going to be with my fingers. I don't think it's going to lay down the best. It is a very malleable formula. It doesn't feel like you have to warm it up, but I just feel like my fingers are going to just blend this in the best. But I don't see much pigment coming off. Maybe I think you guys can see it in the viewfinder though. In person, I don't really see it. So I'm just gonna keep applying. Can you see? I think you can. So it's right here. This is the shade once again in Curtain Call. Did I say that? I don't think I said that before. It's the Eclipse cheek and lip stain in the shade Curtain Call. There you go. So it is nice. It shows up in person. I don't see that, at least not under my half-cooked studio lights, who knows. But I'm gonna stick with it in person being subtle, because when it is nice and pigmented for me, it's a bit much on camera. So we're just going to stick with that, and I think that's pretty even. Maybe not. Let's add just a little bit more onto this cheek. I don't see anything. My vision feels like it's gotten worse. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're just gonna go with that, and we're gonna call it a day. I don't know. I need to try this out a little bit more for me. I don't necessarily like the payoff in person, but I think on camera you guys can actually see it. So, to each his own. And if you don't want something that's overly pigmented, this is also an option as well. I also want to see if this actually dries down, because that is a thing for me. I need my products, creams, to dry down. I also got some things from Half Magic, so really happy and excited for this stuff. And I picked up one of their highlighters. They call them a light trap, and they are their duochrome glow powders, and I have it in the shade Enter to Glow. So really excited for this. Alrighty, so that looks really pretty, very promising. In person it looks like a peachy gold-ish situation with like maybe some lavender in there. So I'm just gonna highlight. This is my Linda Hallberg highlighting brush, and I'm just gonna highlight my normal areas: the Cupid's bow, the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose. And I'm also gonna do, of course, my actual cheekbones. It is quite light on me, but not in a bad way. I don't think this shows off like it's white. It's just light. So if you are somebody who wants more of a natural shade, I don't think you're gonna really get that with this. But I do think that it's beautiful, and I think that it really pops off my skin. And you can really see that on this cheek, because this cheek is kind of best lit when it comes to my light, you know? So very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. I like it. It doesn't look glittery, which is nice, although there definitely is some glitter in the pan. So it's really, really nice. Don't get me wrong. I love me a glittery highlighter as well. But I also do love a kind of more thin type of highlighter. I completely spaced. I might have more stuff. I have more stuff. Last shop with me with Ulta. I just haven't unpacked that stuff, and there's more kind of products. Thankfully, I already have enough, so it's okay that what I have on. But I have some like eye basey type products. So I have one that is in Sand Dune, and then I have another product from e.l.f. and this is the one that I couldn't find a name. So let me open both of these products. I'm gonna give you guys some swatches too. Alrighty, so the e.l.f. No Budge Matte Shadow Stick is in Thrift Shop, and so this looks kind of like a green, but a really, really interesting green. It's like an army green type situation. Love this shade. If this works, this is definitely going to be a shade that I get a lot of use out of. And then this one is like in their pot formula. It's the No Budge Cream Eyeshadow, and the name, like I said, is Sand Dune. And I thought this would, ooh, this is very, very, very creamy. Okay. I thought this would be like a really good my skin shade, but this is actually lighter than my skin tone. So this is Sand Dune, this is the pot, and this is the stick in Thrift Shop. So I'm trying to think which one I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use one of these as a base today. I don't really know what I want to do for a base, if we're being honest. I have two eyeshadow palettes, so I guess let me show you those. So these are some that have just been sitting up there waiting for me to use them and test them out. So the first one is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I think I got this on discount months ago, and I just have not touched it. I haven't touched it. So this is something that I would like to play with. Hopefully, we'll see. And then the other one I picked up in my grand idea to redo my pastel palette for dark skin, and I still haven't tested this. And this is the Creepy Cute one from Shroud Cosmetics. So quite bright, light shades. I think for today, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the No Budge Cream Eyeshadow, and I'm gonna use that for the simple fact that I think I'm gonna pull a little bit more neutral. And so since this is more of my skin tone, it's gonna allow these products to kind of settle a little bit more and not be as bright as some of these shades are in the palettes. So I'm just gonna apply them. This is just a clean brush that I like to use to put my eyeshadow primers on, and yeah. It looks quite oily, but it dried down on my hand. So I'm gonna give it a little while to dry down and see how that goes. And since I'm already in close, I'll let my eyes kind of settle and see how it goes. I'm just gonna come in close so you guys can see the base. I think my base is looking really nice. Not a lot of the products are new. The lip product is new. Like I said, it feels very soft, peppery matte. I think now you guys can see that there's really no color on that cheek product, but the highlighter looks phenomenal. So interesting. We're getting a couple of good, a couple of not so goods. We'll see how they all kind of end up at the end. And I think we're just gonna go ahead and start playing around and see where we go. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna try and mix both of these palettes up and kind of just have some fun and go from there. So I think first what I'm gonna do is start off with the Creepy Cute palette. And I want to start off with Strawberry Milk and then see if I can deepen it up with Third Eye. So these are all, of course, pastel shades. I don't know how they appear on the eye. I've heard this is kind of the best pastel palette out there, and that's why I wanted to get it for that video. I never really got around to the video, although who knows, I may still do it in the future. But I figured let's go ahead and test this out so you guys can at least see that I have it, because I don't even know if I ever told you guys that I had the palette. Okay, so it's going on quite nicely actually. It's not super white based, even though it is a pastel. You can clearly see that it is a pink in person. Once again, I never really know how my camera is going to pick up these things, but in person I can clearly see that it is a light pastel pink. I don't think, now that I'm looking at it, that Third Eye is going to do anything. I think at most it's just going to change it to a little bit of an orangey shade. So I'm not going to actually deepen that out. I think I'm just going to chill on that for right now. And I think I know what I'm gonna do. Then next I'm gonna dive into the Natasha Denona Sunset palette, right? Yeah, Sunrise palette, I'm sorry. And I'm gonna go into Citrine, and this is going to be my outer crease shadow. Same brush. This is just a Royal and Land Nickel crease brush. I really don't even know the name of it, to be honest. So interesting. You already see the difference in the dynamics between those two shadows. Even though this yellow isn't like super deep, you can already see that it's super deep compared to that Strawberry Milk shadow. This is interesting. I didn't know where I was going to take this look, but I'm liking it so far. Okay, I'm liking how this is coming so far. I'm going to use this. This is a Chikuhodo GSN 10. It is smaller than the one that I used. And I am now going to go into Carnelian, which is just a more orangey yellow. And I just want to deepen out this outer V. Trying to keep the same shape that I used with that yellow. It's kind of more of that V shape, but just make it smaller. So I did not realize my camera turned off, but I did kind of add my third deepener shade. I just wanted to add even more depth. And so I took a smaller brush. This is the Morphe M506, and I went into Jasper, once again, still in the Natasha Denona palette. And so what I did once again is just use that same shape, which is that V, but just did it in a smaller area, just to continue to build the depth slowly. And I did do my best to kind of go back if I needed it in the older brushes, just to build that crease and not really feel stuck. Okay, so hopefully you guys were able to see it this time. And these are beautiful shades from the Natasha Denona palette, and they're just really adding something to this look. Okay, I'm liking it. I am. let's see if we can make it go even deeper. So same brush, I'm just gonna go a little bit into the black from the Creepy Cute palette, which is Void. I've heard that this is a very, very deep black, so I don't want to do too much. But I do, like I said, really love some depth, and I just want to deepen everything up just a hair. See, I think that looks a lot better. Not that it looked bad before, but just looks even better. And I promise you, I did like tap for the amount of black. And if you're wondering, I'm starting off at the lash line and then slowly going up. That way the majority of the product is on that lash line. All right, probably not the most blended, but I'm still happy with it. So I want to do clearly something on my lid, and I was going to do something from Natasha Denona. I was. And then I remembered I have a shimmer. I have a shimmer from Half Magic. And so I think I want to try that and see how it works with these products and just see how everything kind of plays together. So this is one of the shimmers. This is in the kind of purpley shade, and the shade name is Spirit Guide. So let me swatch it. So this is it up here. Beautiful, beautiful shadow. And I think I'm gonna just go ahead and apply this to my lids. So I'm just gonna use the actual applicator just to at least get it on my lid. And we'll see what happens after that. I think I'm just gonna try and maybe just blend with my finger. So I just tried to like blend it out with my finger. I don't think my finger did a whole lot of anything, but I also don't think it did any harm doing that, you know? And I like the look. I'm liking how this is coming out so nice. I think that strawberry milk in the inside with this really looks a lot, very nice. I do want to, I don't think I have the brush that I used to put that strawberry milk down, or if I do, I don't remember which one I used. So I'm just gonna pull another brush, and I just want to put strawberry milk on the inner of my lower lash line. It's not really going to show compared to all of these darker tones, but I kind of just want to lighten up that area down there just so that it kind of is a little bit more cohesive and balanced. And then I would prefer to put a color in my inner corner, and I think I'm going to go back into the Natasha Denona just because it actually has shimmers, and I think I'm going to go with the shade Agate, which is right here. So I'm just going to use the exact same brush I just used, just on the other side, and this is the Sonia G Builder Pro. Like I said, always recommend Sonia G brushes. Ooh, child. They are one of my favorite natural hair brushes. I just picked up quite a bit of product, so I'm just gonna take some time to blend. And I did actually just tap off on my hand so that not all of the product is really doing all that. So yeah, that's the eye look. I really like how this came about. I think it looks nice. I don't think I want to do anything off camera, to be honest, other than of course liners, mascara. I don't think I'm going to put on lashes. I think I'm gonna chill. But yeah, let me do the liner, mascara, all that, and I'll come back to show you guys the finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. So like I said, this is the finished look, and honestly I think it looks really nice. I'm very happy with the overall look. I'm just going to run through all of the products that are new for me today, and then we'll wrap this baby up. So let's go ahead and start off with, I don't even know, what are we going to start off with? Oh, we have the primer. Where's the primer? So today I tried the Vanessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serum Primer, and I don't think that my skin overall looks extra luminous, but I did of course put quite a few layers of foundation on, and then I do powder quite intensely just because I'm oily skinned, well, combination skin. Yes, it's night, so no, I didn't need as much powder as I did, but it's automatic. it is what it is. So I didn't see too much in this application. That said, this was kind of created to go with a medium coverage. My foundation is a medium coverage, but I'm not willing to say that the primer wasn't good or bad. It felt nice going on. So yeah, I want to kind of test it out. I want to really use up the rest of this sample and the other one to really get my thoughts when it comes to the actual formula. I don't think if you are of a lighter complexion, you could not necessarily use the Juice Boost. I think you just need to know that you're going to have more of an overall bronzed effect, whereas the main squeeze, you're going to have a little bit more of a highlighted effect depending on your skin tone, etc, etc. So that's what I would say about that. Not a bad product, but right now not something I'm running to get a full bottle of. Then let's go ahead and talk about the only kind of cream cheek product I used today. Once again, this is in Curtain Call, and this is from R.E.M Beauty. I'm not overly excited about this product. I don't find that on my complexion it is overly apparent, and that's why I chose this shade. I felt like out of all the shades, this, if it was going to be a shade to really work for my skin tone, it was going to be this one. Granted, I used my finger. I'm sure maybe using a brush and or a sponge I'll get more application. I also did use this product when I had already powdered, so I will use this in a variety of different ways to try and figure out what makes this product work for me and what makes it really tick. So don't hold my thoughts right now as the end all be all, but right now, you know, I wish I would have gotten that on sale. Then the last cheek product that I got that was new is from Half Magic. Once again, this is their highlighter in Light Trap. I think this is a really pretty highlighter. It's nice and smooth, but because it's the shine factor and because the glitters are the way they are, they kind of help for it to really radiate off my skin, which I really appreciate. I think it looks beautiful. And now, is this something that like I don't have in my collection? No, I have it, but I am happy to have tried this. Don't get me wrong, very happy to have tried this, and I will kind of continue to test this out even more to see if there's any other tips or tricks for how to really get my use out of that. Then we have the eyeshadow base that I used today, and this is from e.l.f. This is their No Budge Cream Eyeshadow in Sand Dune. I think this worked beautifully as a primer. I don't think that it necessarily deterred the pigment of the shadows, and I think it actually really did well at holding the shadows. I think it also did well at drying down, so do allow it to dry down. As I showed you on my hand, it definitely does dry down, and it kind of gives a more matte powdery finish, which is nice. I did want to apply my shadows with a little bit of tack still there, so I did kind of still apply before it was fully dried down. But once again, really excited for this formula and just really excited overall. I think this will be a formula that I'll hopefully get quite a bit of use out of coming in the next couple of months. My lipstick from Give Beauty. So like I said, this is in the shade Lovable Me, and like I said, to my eye, granted I don't have my glasses on, I do think that this has a slight kind of rosy tint to the lip shade. Not nearly as bad as the House Labs, but I still feel that this has a slight rosy tint into it on my skin tone. And I do find that I am kind of an olive leaning with a slightly warmer undertone. So that said, the actual formula is really, really nice. Like I said, if you like the MAC Powder Kiss finish, you will really enjoy this. If you've not tried that and you've wanted to try this, and maybe this is more accessible to you because it's available at Sephora, or I don't know the price difference, but maybe if this is cheaper, which I think MAC lipsticks are like $18, and I think this is somewhere in the 20s. So I don't know if that one's really a better kind of comparison situation, but I think this looks really pretty. The compact is really nice. I love the detailing. I love it all. So yeah, I'm happy to have this. Is this once again a ride or die? No, but once again, I'm happy to have it. So there's that. Then we have the two eyeshadow palettes that I used. So I used less of the Shroud Creepy Cute Volume 1, but that was just because overall I do tend to enjoy a more darker, smokier look. Granted, I was able to use the black here, I was able to use the strawberry milk here, and I love both of the shades. I think both of the shades blended really, really nicely, and I have tried this brand before. I think I tried them before they originally renamed and like rebranded and like changed their formula and all that. So this is the first time I believe I've tried this brand in this formulation, in this brand, and I'm enjoying it so far. Really, really nice. It definitely has a nice kind of formula where the pastels, although pastel, are not straight up ash or white on my skin tone, which is nice. There is that light tint of whatever the color is. So, you know, stay tuned. I will be reviewing hopefully these after my next review roundup. I just have to test out one or two palettes one more time, and then I will be doing a roundup maybe later this week, rounding up 10 palettes. Life happens. So yeah, really, really liking that though so far. And would I recommend it so far? Yeah, I would. I would. I will hopefully still refilm my pastel palette from years ago, so wait till that so I can compare it with all of my other pastel palettes, because I do have quite a few. The second eyeshadow palette that I used, and predominant palette honestly, is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I use this a lot just to really deepen out that outer V, create that depth and dimension. And yes, I only used 4 shades in this palette, but these really remind me of the Natasha Denona formula through and through. There are no cream to powders in here, so if you were somebody who does not like that formula from her, or just in general, you don't have to worry about that. And I do enjoy this color scheme. The only reason I didn't pick it up is because it came out during a time where I was just not purchasing makeup, and for me, you know, once that happens, I'm just gonna wait till there's a sale to pick it up if I really still want it. So I just waited for the sale. Still happy I picked it up, and I will kind of be testing it out a little bit further just to make sure that all of the shades I find are still that good Natasha Denona formula. Last thing I think I have to talk about today is from Half Makeup. So this is one of their sparkly glittery eyeshadows, and I'm just taking out my mirror to make sure everything is looking good. So I haven't had this makeup on for very, very long, but I'm happy to say that it did not crease or anything like that. It's still flowing beautifully, and it still looks beautiful on my eyes. I really like it overall. I think it applied nicely. The doe foot is nice that you can just kind of apply it straight to your eye, which I do appreciate for a cream shadow. I would hate for the cream shadow's doe foot not to work and then you have to use a brush. Don't get me wrong, I know people do use brushes with these types of products, but for me, I prefer to just go from doe foot to eye and bada bing bada boom. So really excited that I picked this up. I do have a couple other shadows from this range. I just have mattes otherwise, so I will be kind of testing those out slowly. I just didn't want to kind of do too much. I already had a cream shadow, so why use those two? So overall, I think this was a very, very good kind of collection of new makeup. Of course, I did fill in the blanks with my project pan, and if you're wondering, just check out down below. Everything will be listed down there. And yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys today. I did enjoy putting this makeup on. It was a nice little reprieve from things, and I hope it was a reprieve for you in the event that you're going through some things. And if you're not, I just hope you enjoyed the look and enjoyed the kind of quick first impression roundup reviews when it comes to these items. So with that said, I will see you guys in my next video, and yeah, I'll see you guys then. Bye guys.